Welcome back to Axis Anime. My name is Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough review of Fairy Tail episode 169. And if you remember from last episode, guess what? The matches have finally started. Now, the first two matches go pretty quick in my opinion. The third match was the actual build-up. We get to see Laxus versus Alexia, or should I say Laxus versus Ivan, his own father. Yeah, apparently his father's using hallucination magic right off the start, so it's not even a real fight. It was just to buy time so, father and son could talk. And to make it even more interesting, yeah, Ivan brings 4 of his elite wizards with him to the field as backup. And apparently he's trying to ask his son, do you know where the Lumina Hysteria is at? Apparently it's part of Fairy Tail, and he's trying to find out where is the Lumina Hysteria, and guess what? Laxus doesn't know diddly squat, and even if he did, he would never in a million years tell his father anything, because his father's no longer with Fairy Tail. And again, his father's playing dirty, which makes it even better for Laxus, because now he doesn't even want to hold back. But again, that's where the episode ends, and I'll hold my final thought and rating at the end of the clips, so stay tuned. But let's dive right on in. So we open up this episode with Natsuo, Gray, Lucy, everyone in the crowd, Fairy Tail in general, and we find out Urza feels something is up with Laxus. I mean, he should be mopping the floor with this guy, and yet he's holding back all of his punches and whatnot. Just does not make sense. But again, that's what we open up with. Moving on past that, we're taking to a different scene with Ivan, and he's telling Laxus in general that his guild is an anti-fairy guild. I was like, what? You're an anti-fairy guild. That didn't make sense to me, but apparently his members are all masters of Fairy Tail weaknesses. So all the wizards in Raven Tail are anti-fairy masters. They know all the weaknesses of Fairy Tail. That's the whole reason why they joined Raven Tail and built up their magic, was to defeat Fairy Tail. So I'm like, wow. So the buck doesn't stop there. It goes further. I was like, really? Ain't that a bitch? But it gets better. Apparently, Laxus basically explains to his father and everyone else that's on the field with the hallucination magic and whatnot that's going on, that guess what? Gejil was a double agent for Fairy Tail. Yeah, Fairy Tail knows everything about Raven Tail. And that was just like, Ivan's face like, what? So this wasn't a big surprise? You knew about everything, where our money went, our wizards, everything? I was like, yep. So he wasn't shocked on what, his father was telling him. So I was like, I kind of saw that coming. That I did see coming. So we're taking to a different scene. Now, apparently, Ivan wants Laxus to tell him where the Lumina Hysteria is at. Still, again, with the Lumina Hysteria. We don't even know what it is. And if he wants to know its location, where is it, Laxus? And apparently, he's using the father and son bit to see if he can get the truth from Laxus in general. And it's not working. Guess what? He attacks. And I thought, perfect. And moving on past that, we find out Markov, he gives Laxus his striking pose, like the two-finger thing, but he does his pose like, I'm here for you, Laxus, I'm supporting you from a distance. It's for Fairy Tail, even though technically Markov could not see really what was going on because of the hallucination magic, but still, it meant something to Laxus to see that pose. So he's snapping out of it, and now he's raring to go. So we're taking to a different scene with Ivan. Guess what? Ivan, he tells Obra to unleash his powers. If you remember correctly, Obra was the one that actually attacked Lucy during her fight. So that, just putting that out there. So I can't wait to see Obra's power. However, moving on past that, we find out Laxus attacks Obra right off the bat. So Obra doesn't even get his power off. And then we see Flare. She jumps in, and yeah, she tries to attack Laxus, but doesn't do jack because she gets defeated. Now Laxus lets loose. He's not holding back. He's going, I don't know, he's going mad crazy on Raven Tail's ass. And he defeats the Raven Tail members one by one. So all the Raven Tail elite members are defeated. And so is his father. I'm like, what? And Laxus is the clear winner. And guess what? Raven Tail? Yeah, they breached their rules. They broke the magic game rules. Can't wait to see what's going to happen. But again, the hallucination magic is no longer working, so now everyone can see what's happening. Yeah, and they know Raven Tail's been cheating. The judges notice and they take action. So we're being tossed a little information in the next scene. So apparently, yeah, Raven Tail, they're disqualified. They're banned from the tournament for 3 years. Like, come on, they were a dark guild to begin with, a dark magic guild. Who didn't see this coming? Of course they're going to get banned for 3 years. I'm surprised they weren't hauled off to prison. Now we do see the palace guards escorting them out. Now I don't know if they're under arrest or not, but still, it was worth seeing. Now, yes, we do see Ivan talking to his son, like, if you think we're done here, we're not done here. Fairy Tail. When you know the truth about Fairy Tail, about the Lumina Hysteria and their past, you'll be thinking twice. Just remember, this was your way out of helping your old man and whatnot. I'm like, it kind of meant something, but I really could care less for that scene, but it definitely was well worth mentioning. So Fairy Tail has a dark past. Can't wait to find out more about this. And of course, moving on past that, we're taken to the last match. Finally. Yeah, Wendy from Fairy Tail Team A versus Chihira. Yeah, from Lemmy Scale. Love the matchup. Two really hot girls versus each other. Well, you know, not so much for Wendy. She's still growing up, so I can't really say anything about her. But, you know, Sherria, or Sherry, she's amazing. Now, they both trip when they're coming to the field over a little rock. Both of them. They're being just adorable and cute about it, but still. Now, again, we do see Dornbolt in the crowd, and he's watching, you know, Wendy in general, and he is kind of rooting for her in his own way. Now, Mavis, yeah, the ghost of Mavis, the original Fairy Tail Guildmaster, the first one, she notices, you know, Sherry's magic. She's like, something's up, but she sees something, and she's not looking all good about it. Yeah, so moving on past that, we do find out Jalel and everyone else that's associated with Jalel that's outside of the tournament, they notice the same thing that Mavis noticed, something about Sherry, her power, her magic. They notice Zeref's presence, and that's something to be reckoned with. If Zeref's got something to do with Sherry, they gotta check it out. So we do see them heading toward the arena and checking stuff out. So we're taking to a different scene with Wendy. Yeah, guess what? She's the first one to let loose power-wise in this little matchup. I'm like, really? She never takes the initiative and does stuff. Normally, she's a supportive character. So we see Wendy. She opens up with arms, then air, enchant. I was like, wings slash of the sky dragon. I loved it. It was perfect, but it doesn't do anything. Yeah, Sherry, she dodges right away. It's like, yeah, I kind of saw it coming. She uses, and I quote, God of the Sky, Boris, Black Wind. I'm like, Black Wind? What? Yeah, but, you know, dodged it again. It was this, we see this little scene. We see Black Wind in the scene, and, you know, we do see, of course, Wendy dodging it, but Wind user versus Wind user, this is getting interesting. So we're taking to a different scene with Sherry, and she uses the Dance of the Sky God. I was like, what? So we're taking to a different scene with Wendy, and she uses the Talons of the Sky Dragon. You know, we're seeing all these interesting powers by Wendy and Sherry, so I love the build-up. However, now we get to see their final power versus power matchup, the Roar versus the Howl. Both Wind magic users, and they're fighting each other. Yeah, a Roar versus a Howl. Interesting little power matchup there. And Sherry, she uses Sky God Slayer magic, so she's a God Slayer versus a Dragon Slayer. I thought they were just, you know, Wind users, you know, Wind magic users, but no, they're both Slayers. God versus Dragon. Love the matchup. Now, again, we do see the Roar versus the Howl, their little matchup on their powers, and they cancel each other out. And that's when we find out, you know, Sherry's a God Slayer, but I didn't understand this at first, because Wendy, she's all messed up, and Sherry, she's not even scratched. I can't explain it, but it was weird. And they're both eating air. They're getting ready for another ultimate attack, so they start eating up air. The air becomes very thin around the arena. People start to notice, but they're sucking in air. They're eating it. You know how like Natsuo eats fire? Well, they're eating air because, you know, one's a Dragon Slayer, one's a God Slayer. And it's going to get interesting. You waiting for this? Sit down? Ready? Yeah, Wendy, she uses her secret art. Now, it's not completed, though. She points that out. It's not fully completed, but she uses it. And she has a magical barrier that appears around both her and, you know, Sherry. And Sherry's very stunned. She's like, wow, I can't believe you're doing this. And I thought, okay, it's done. So we'll take to a different scene with Wendy, and she uses her Light Burst Sky Drill. And I thought it was an amazing attack. And Sherry, she looks defeated, and it's done. Everyone's about to say, okay, Wendy is the clear cut. No. Sherry's back. She's like, huh, that's all you got? She starts healing herself with her magic, and she's back. So Sherry, she's fully healed, and that's where the episode ends. As for final thoughts, Sherry's a God Slayer? Really? Really? I know there were God Slayers within this series, because we saw, you know, Natsuo fight that other God Slayer. That's how he was able to mature his power, so he can use both fire and lightning, technically. But Sherry, a magic, you know, wind user, is kind of interesting. Now, if Wendy progresses herself more, is she going to be able to adapt to the Black Wind? Can she use it if she does exactly what Natsuo does? I have no idea. And is Wendy ever going to get her, you know, her secret art fully matured enough where it's fully complete? If it does get fully matured and completed, what's going to happen? Is, you know, Sherry going to be defeated if she uses it against her? We don't know. As for this matchup, so good matchup. Wind user versus wind user. I love it. However, Slayer versus Slayer, didn't see that coming, you know. But I can't wait to see what the outcome's going to be. So I'm going to stick around, definitely watch that. Moving on past that, we haven't seen the Captain of the Guards yet. He's still in the background. It's been an episode or so since we've seen him. What's he going to do after this matchup? What's going to happen? And again, I can't wait to see who's going to win. But that ends it for my final thoughts as per my rating. Are you shitting me? 4 out of 5. I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. Well, first off, the matchups, well, the ending matchups with Laxus and his father, and the last one, you know, Wendy versus Sherria, those are probably the best matchups I've seen. But, you know, Sherria versus Wendy is the best one I've seen altogether. So the fights were definitely there. They were head-on, strong. As for the emotion, father and son was the emotion, and that died out pretty quick. New information, other than finding out what Sherria really is, she's a god slayer. No real new information, no. Maybe the Illumina hysteria from what, you know, Ivan was telling, you know, his son, which was Laxus, about, was only the real information we were able to hear, but that was it. We really don't know what it is, what it's capable of doing, and what is this thing about Fairy Tail's past being dark. Don't really know anything about that, to be honest. But again, final rating, 4 out of 5. But again, that is it for my walkthrough review of Fairy Tail episode 169. But definitely comment down below, let me know, thumbs up, thumbs down, definitely subscribe, check me out on Twitter, and follow me if you like. But let me know what you thought of this episode, and of course, let me know what you think's gonna happen in the next episode that's coming out. But again, guys, that ends it for now. And I've got so many reviews to do. I've got at least 2 or 3 more to do tomorrow morning. I'm just gonna watch them tonight. If you guys want to check me out on a live stream or something, invite me, talk to me. I'm there. Comment, check my form out, sign my petition. You can find all that information out on my channel or in the description down below. Check that out. But again, guys, I gotta hit the bricks and I gotta go. Before I go, I gotta say it, and I always say it. You can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.